Hello and welcome to the Brooklyn Technical High School Virtual College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. Each will have 6 minutes to share more about their institution, but will be around for the entire session to answer any questions. My name is Jenny and I will be your facilitator. Before we get started, I have a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. However, you can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the schedule on the website. This presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/BrooklynTech. I'd now like to turn it over to our first presenter, SUNY New Paltz.
Well, hello everyone. My name's Casey Hintz, and I'm, like she said, an admissions counselor here from SUNY New Paltz. And our institution, we are a four-year liberal arts and sciences college, SUNY, just like everybody else in this particular session. We are only located about an hour and a half to 2 hours north of New York City, depending exactly where you are located. It is accessible by both the Metro North train station and by Port Authority buses will also reach up there as well. We have over 100 majors of which you can choose from. They are in the fields of science and engineering, liberal arts and sciences, fine and performing arts, business, and education. We are not a school that limits what specifically you can take. So for example, if you are an engineering student, but you are very interested in photography, you can still take that if that is of interest to you, even though the engineering program does not require that in any way to complete your graduation requirements. In terms of things that occur outside of the classroom, New Paltz has over 200 clubs and organizations of which you can be a part of. And we really feel that all of those options come from the amount of diversity on our campus. And when I'm talking diversity, I'm not just referring to what race somebody ultimately identifies as. Now, 40% of our students do identify as a person of color, but we also have every ethnicity, religion, all members of LGBTQ, people with learning disabilities and physical disabilities, all making up significant populations on the campus. And New York City accounts for about 35 to 40% of all of our students on campus as well. So as you all know, New York City is just a more diverse location culturally and ethnically as well. We also are not a Hudson Valley school, so students are coming from outside of just our general region, whether that be out of state, or like I said, the New York City and also Long Island area as a part of that. In terms of going back to the clubs, there are over 200, like I mentioned before, that we have to offer. That includes all the sports, that includes social justice organizations, arts clubs, performance clubs. There's a Red Cross volunteer organization, and many, many more that you can be a part of. It's also not limiting to just what we already have. So if you come to campus and you think that there is a club that we don't specifically have that other people would be interested in, you can require that, or you can add that to the campus community as well. So there is that flexibility to do those things. There is also study abroad, which we're huge proponents of, that you can take advantage of. And in terms of career-related opportunities, there are plenty of opportunities to both just be a student who is paid on campus, but also in terms of internships and those kinds of career-related experiences, research opportunities, all of those things. They are all available and prevalent on campus as well. It really just comes down to getting to know your faculty. They tend to be that first point of contact. So the better you get to know your faculty members, the more success you will typically have in getting those career-related opportunities as well. But before you can take advantage of any of those things, I obviously want to go over what our admissions requirements are. And at New Paltz, you can use either the common application or the SUNY application. We don't have a preference. Usually your counselors do, so please just use whatever your counselors recommend. After that, that's when we start getting the documents, the first of which is a high school transcript. When we receive a transcript, we will recalculate your GPA based off your science, math, English, social science, and any foreign language classes you've taken. And we will evaluate the average student has between a 90 and a 95 GPA who's accepted in New Paltz. But again, that's an average, so there are people who have below that and above that attending the school. We are also a school that participates in the Educational Opportunity Program. So that program, the average GPA is between an 82 and an 87 with a minimum GPA of a 75 for entry into that program. After the transcript, we will just look at a letter of recommendation. We only require one, and we just require that it comes from somebody within your school. So a counselor, principal, teacher, anybody like that is completely fine. And then the last thing that we require is your essay. And in my opinion, the essay can be the most important part of your application, because without the essay, you are just a statistic to us. You are just GPAs, classes taken, Regents scores, but we genuinely want to know the type of person you are outside of the classroom. We want to know your goals, your interests, hobbies, anything like that. Also, if there's a year on your transcript that you would like everyone to forget about, but during that year you had a family tragedy, parents getting divorced, anything major that would impact your ability in high school, we genuinely want to know about that because we factor all of that in as well. And then ACT scores, we are completely optional, as many of my colleagues actually are in the SUNY system. We do have one 7-year medical program that is specific, that will require SAT scores, but all other admission and all scholarships will not be looking at any SAT, ACT scores as a part of that. But with that said, I think
Your
my time is almost
microphone
up.
is giving out a bit.
My microphone is?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a bit crackly.
Okay, well, let me try.
I can't hear you.
Hey, Casey, try calling in from your phone. I think that'll help.
We're unable to hear you. We're getting close to time, but we may be able to circle back close to the end of the presentations. My apologies. All right, we'll try to circle back with Casey, but if you do have questions for SUNY New Paltz, please put those in the Q&A and he'll be happy to answer them there, and he can put more information in the chat to you as well. So we'll go on to our next institution at this time, which is SUNY Oswego, or sorry, my apologies, SUNY Maritime College.
Hi guys, my name is Ridge Robinson. I'm one of the admissions counselors here at SUNY Maritime College. I want to thank you for having me on this evening. This is an overview of the college. We're in Throgs Neck on a thin peninsula of land in the borough of the Bronx. In the picture here, you'll see Throgs Neck Bridge, our training ship, and various aspects of campus. A little bit about us. We're the second smallest SUNY in the state of New York at 1,800 students. We have 2 unique lifestyles on campus. 70% are regimental students, which I'll explain in a little bit more detail in a second. And the other 30% are civilian students. We offer 13 nationally recognized programs here academically, 5 of which are ABET accredited engineering programs. From a student life perspective, we have over 80 plus student clubs and organizations. We boast 13 NCAA Division III varsity sports. We've recently added a 14th in women's basketball. From a class size perspective, being that we're the second smallest SUNY, our average classes by your junior year, about 21 students on average. It's about 15 to 1 student to teacher ratio. So if it gets any larger, we typically add a TA or another teacher to the classroom. So it's more personalized as you go through our educational programs. This is an overview of academic programs that we offer. As I mentioned, we have 13 in total, 5 of which are bachelors of engineering that are ABET accredited. On the left, you'll see electrical, facilities, marine, mechanical, and naval architecture. On the right is our bachelor's of science degrees. We have 3 business in international transportation and trade, marine operations, marine transportation. We have a marine environmental science degree, and then a maritime studies degree, which is liberal arts based, is well-rounded in a lot of different, different performing arts, history, literature, media, etc. We also have an associates of applied science in marine technology. And this is for somebody that is looking to apply education towards smaller vessels. So when I mentioned 2 different lifestyles, there's really 2 tracks here. You can either be in professional internships. If you're going that route, you're typically just a regular college student pursuing a degree with us. The requirement is that for Bachelor's of Science, you do at least one internship. For Bachelor's of Engineering, we require at least 2 internships. The other side of it is that you can pursue a Coast Guard license to work on commercial vessels in addition to your degree. That requires you to be either in the deck license, which is a navigation topside license for somebody that wants to eventually captain a ship. The other side is engine, which is internal, working with power and systems. And this is more for somebody that wants to be an engineer on a ship. Being in the Coast Guard license requires you to be in the Regiment of Cadets. However, you can just be in the Regiment of Cadets for the lifestyle, and that's a quasi-military lifestyle. I like to emphasize that we're not a military school. We just have a license that is mandated by the Coast Guard and therefore has military-esque requirements. That Regiment of Cadets is more of a structured lifestyle on campus that either internship or Coast Guard license seeking students can be a part of, and it kind of brings the two together. From an admission standpoint, our application opens up in early August. The application is either completed through SUNY or Common Application. We require you to do supplemental application questions, complete an essay, and complete your high school, submit your most current high school transcripts. As of currently, SAT or ACT test scores are optional. They will be optional for fall 2022-2023. And then we require 1 letter of recommendation. This has to come from someone that knows you academically. It can be counselor, coach, or teacher. We prefer you stick away from like clergy or family. We want somebody that can speak to you on academics. On the right is incoming freshman class profiles in terms of averages from a GPA, SAT, or ACT standpoint based on engineering or Bachelor's of Science degrees. At the bottom, you'll see our application deadlines for fall. For early decision, which is contractually binding, it's December 1st. Early decision is for somebody that is planning to attend solely here, planning to apply solely here. Regular decision is January 31st. It's for somebody looking at many schools. They want to see the full picture from a financial aid and scholarship perspective. So it gives them more time to really weigh their options and weigh the colleges that they're looking at. We also have an EOP program. This is based on incoming freshman profile from an academic and from a household size and income aspect. This is determined when you apply. So you don't have to apply for this separately. You'll apply to the college as normal. And if you're determined to be an EOP, you then are flagged and we put you in a pool of students that will then interview for an EOP position. This is competitive. We do have limited numbers of seats being that we are a smaller SUNY. Students that obtain an EOP position come into the college in the summer and get prepped in math and English heading into their fall semester. The EOP program does boast some aspects that help pay for your college. So it is definitely something that a student that qualifies for should take advantage of, should go through the application process for. This is my contact information. You can reach me at email, Zoom if you want to do a face-to-face, or by phone. You can also check us out at SUNY Maritime Admissions to see our upcoming events or any ongoings or happenings that are happening on campus. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you so much. And that quick reminder that you can use that Q&A function to ask questions of our schools here at any time. When you're asking a question, you can specify which school it's for as well, or if it's a general question for all of our presenters here today. Up next, we have SUNY Cortland.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us today. I would just like to get right into it. My name is Kalia Banks. I am a senior admissions advisor, and I get the pleasure to talk to you about SUNY Cortland. So first things first, I always like to break the ice and just share with you that that picture right there on the screen was a very, very important day for me. That is because that is the day I returned to SUNY Cortland campus to take my engagement photos. My husband and I met at Cortland. We were definitely really involved. So everything that I'm sharing with you today is coming from a student perspective, but also as I work for the admissions office as their New York City regional recruiter, I get to share with you that professional perspective as well. So Cortland is very near and dear to my heart. I'm born and raised in New York City, and I love the fact that I get to recruit students just like you, and I hope that one day you can see yourself as a student at Cortland. And I will also share with you my information at the end. So just to give you a really quick overview, right? SUNY Cortland is about 4 hours away from New York City. We are a medium-sized school, and the students just love the fact that we have that perfect balance, right? We're large enough where you feel like you're on a college campus, right? But small enough where you feel like, okay, you can walk around and see people that you know. The average class size, definitely in our majors, is about, I want to say 25 or 26. And we on an average, bring in a freshman class of 1,300. So we review about 13,000 applications in a season. We accept a little over 6,000 of those, and then 1,300 say that they want to make Cortland their home. Our student to faculty ratio is definitely sufficient enough where we have enough faculty to service the students that we have on our campus. The next thing is students love where we're located, right? So we are a very geographically diverse campus. We have students from 33 different states and 54 different countries. We are very close to some very familiar cities that you might know, right? Ithaca, Binghamton, and Syracuse. Students love that because if they have friends that might go to some other colleges, they have the opportunity to visit them. But also, if you want to get right up to Syracuse, which is very home of one of the largest shopping centers, you have the option to do that. Students can have their car their first year on campus if they drive. I know from New York City, sometimes we might not, but if you have some friends there, a lot of students will take advantage of the different towns that we have around. We did receive the #1 ranking for campus safety. Our university police do a fantastic job making sure that students feel safe, welcome, and wanted on our campus. And also, how do students get to us, right? They typically might drive, they might take a bus, or they might fly into Syracuse and make their way down to Cortland. And so that is just a quick summary of our geographic power, right? And where we're located. Far enough where you feel like you're away at college, but close enough that if you wanted to go home, you could. But let me be honest with you, I loved Cortland so much that I barely went home at all. Here's just a quick summary of some of our majors that we offer. Okay, so again, students, you have the ability to major and minor and double major. Some students even triple major, right? And also know that you can come into Cortland as an undeclared major. So this is just a quick summary of that. I was that student who wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So I had a lot of flexibility. We have some of the most extensive teacher certification offerings, right, in the SUNY system. And also we have a lot of strength in some of our other majors. Some of our popular majors that students gravitate towards: sports management, speech and hearing science, and communications, just to name a few. Now let's just give you a glance at some of the internship opportunities that students have taken advantage of throughout different corporations and also through different venues of study. So a lot of our students have interned at some of these companies. Also getting involved, right? College is about what are you doing in the classroom, but also what are you doing outside of the classroom? So many opportunities for you to participate in clubs and organizations in all of these categories, right? From culturally based clubs to clubs that are based on music, religion, and that's what glued me to Cortland, right? All of our involvement that the students really do take a part of. We do have athletics as a part of our culture. We're NCAA Division III school. So we have varsity sports, we have intramural sports, and also club sports. A very well-known tradition is the Cortica Jug that we have on our campus, where we have a big game against Ithaca College. This year, it's going to be at Yankee Stadium. Now, let's talk about the Student Life Center. This is our pride and joy, okay? This is a facility that is all about mental, physical, and social wellness, right? We have a double-decker fitness facility. We have an elevated track. There's a swimming pool, jacuzzi, a rock climbing wall, a gaming room, and just so many other things to really cater to that social excitement when it comes to college. This is just a quick summary of a couple of pictures to show you how you can get involved and what it looks like inside of this building. We have 11 dining facilities on campus. Here's a quick view of the cost when it comes to a in-state student, right? So around our university colleges will be about the same. We do have merit-based scholarships. Typically, our merit-based scholarships start at a 93 or higher. We are currently test optional. A student coming to Cortland on the average has about a solid B. I will say that we are very strict when it comes to coursework. We need 4 years of English, 4 years of social studies, and 9 credits between math, science, and foreign language, all Regents level. Here's my information. I am going to also drop information in the chat for you. We have an Instagram where I'm able to connect with you if you want to direct message me. And also we do host bus trips where you can come up to campus and check us out for free. And I'll be posting about that on our Instagram. Thank you so very much. And I look forward to connecting with you at the end of the presentation.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Up next, we have SUNY Oneonta.
Got it. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Gabby Donato. I'm one of our admissions counselors here at Oneonta. I'm also an Oneonta alumni. I graduated from the college in 2015 and have been in the admissions office here for about 5 years. So also happy to answer questions from both the student perspective and from the admissions perspective as we go along. So I'll be providing you with a general overview of what we offer on our campus, similar to the other colleges, and then I'll be in the chat to answer your questions as well. So just starting off, I like to get started with location because that's the #1 question I get is what is SUNY Oneonta? Where is SUNY Oneonta? Are you in the middle of nowhere? And we are very much what I like to call traditional college town, situated halfway between Binghamton and Albany. So what you are going to find in the community of Oneonta during the school year is mostly college students. We are a medium-sized campus, so we're just around the 6,000 mark of undergraduate students on our campus, and we share the community of Oneonta with Hartwick College, a smaller private college located right down the road from us. So between their students and our students, a lot of college activities happening in Oneonta during the year, but overall it's going to be small college town feel right on the outside of the Catskill Mountains. For the students that are interested in possible like outdoor activities, you like to spend time outside, that is a big part of who we are on our campus and in the Oneonta community. We have a ton of like outdoor adventure clubs, ski and snowboard clubs, hiking and biking trails right off of our campus, things like that, really providing students an opportunity to spend time outdoors. So if you're someone who loves the outdoors, loves nature, this could be a very good fit for you. We are about 3 to 3.5 hours from the New York City area, so not too far, not too close. And we are easily accessible by bus or car from the New York City area. So you can take a bus right from Port Authority up to our campus that runs 7 days a week. If you're interested in coming to visit, or if you end up being a student at Oneonta and you want to go home on the weekends, that's kind of the best way back and forth. Size is also something that's really important to us at Oneonta. So I mentioned that we're right about 6,000 students. Our average class size right now is about 21. And that's something that's really important to us and something that we want to make sure that we continue. So we are consistently reevaluating and adding more sections of classes as needed if classes are getting too full, or if we see that certain courses are becoming too popular in order to keep our class size down. So most of your classes will be in that 20 to 30 range. We do have course caps in a lot of our classes so that they don't get bigger than that. We don't really have a lot of lecture halls on our campus. We have 3 in total, and they don't seat more than like on the absolute maximum end. I think I've seen like 75 students, and we generally don't fill all the way till that 75. And it's usually like Intro to Psychology, right, is our most popular class on campus that every student takes. So 20 to 30 is what you're going to see in most of your classes. We are very much known as a place where you have the opportunity to get to know your professors really well, to interact with the students in your class, to be able to have classes, discussions, and interactive hands-on experiences, which we'll talk about as well. You'll see our faculty members at our sporting events. You'll see them walking their dogs on campus. You'll see them in the local community with their families, with their kids on the weekends and stuff. So a lot of our faculty and staff on campus live right in the downtown Oneonta community amongst our students. And so you're getting that person-to-person connection. You're seeing them outside of the classroom as well. So these are all of the majors that we offer at Oneonta. We're right about 56 majors right now, over 50 minors, and then our pre-professional and cooperative programs as well. Some of the most recognized programs that students come to Oneonta for are our education programs. So our teacher certification programs are some of our most nationally recognized programs, our business administration program, our music industry program, our media studies program. Our fashion and textiles program is also very popular. We also have a 3+1 program with FIT that draws a lot of students to Oneonta. But overall, we're offering a wide variety of programs for you to choose from. Many of our students are studying more than one thing. So if you want to study multiple things, we absolutely encourage you to work with your academic advisor and start planning that early so we can fit that all in 4 years for you. But feel free to combine programs, add a minor, and really just test out the waters in whatever it is that you may be interested in. If you're not sure, that's totally okay. We'll help you figure it out. So our academic advising team is specially designed to help you find your path, and they'll work with you right from your first day. Experiential learning is something that's really important to us at Oneonta, and it's something that we put into almost all of our classes. So the majority of your classes will have hands-on learning experiences that are already built into the curriculum. They're built into your syllabus, and they'll be required parts of the learning that you do in that class. Aside from that, we want you to take advantage of those opportunities outside of the classroom as well and outside of your classes. So you can start using our Experiential Learning Center on campus right from your first year. You don't need to wait till you're an upper class student. And in that center, you'll find our Office of Sustainability, our Center for Social Responsibility, our Study Abroad office, our Internship Coordinator, our Career Development Center. So everyone you need is kind of right in that one place to help you get started. By the time our students start senior year, most of them have already had 2 experiences that they can put on their resume to say, this is how I've used what I've learned in the classroom, out in the field and in practice. We also keep a list on our website where if you have questions about where students intern, they intern all over. And the other thing that I think sets Oneonta apart is the amount of funding that we offer our students to be able to have these hands-on learning experiences to support you in studying abroad and doing internships and traveling to professional development conferences. Similarly, we also offer a ton of student life, so over 200 plus clubs and organizations for you to get involved with while you're living on campus with us. And then this is just some general application information. I will be in the chat to answer questions, but the one thing I do want to mention is we do award merit scholarships. You must apply by January 15th to be considered for them. And if you're eligible, you'll automatically be awarded them with your acceptance letter. And I will drop my contact information in the chat. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you.
Thank you. And that's a great reminder that you can use the Q&A function to ask questions of our institutions here at any time during the presentations. Up next, we have SUNY Albany.
Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining. My name is Danielle Haft. I am one of the undergraduate admissions counselors here at the University at Albany, also a proud 2-time alum as well. I did my bachelor's degree and master's degree here from the university. So let's get into it a little bit more. We recruit a lot of students from Brooklyn Tech and the New York City area. When it comes to the size of our institution, we are part of the SUNY system, and like the other colleagues on this call, we are considered a mid-sized institution, so we're a little bit larger than some of the other colleges. So we hover around 13,000 undergraduate students. But when I talk to students about the size, I do like to emphasize that it's a really nice fit because you're always going to see someone that on campus who you know, as well as someone you don't. So there's really a nice opportunity to meet all different kinds of people from all different backgrounds right here on campus at the university. Now, when it comes to our academic programs here, we hover around 50 undergraduate majors and around 70 undergraduate minors. We are broken down into 9 schools and colleges across the university. And on this slide, it is highlighted by the gold headers. Now, I should mention that when a student is applying to the University at Albany, they're not necessarily applying to one of these schools or colleges in particular. They're more so applying to the university as a whole. So one of the most common questions I get asked from students during the application process or as they're preparing for the application process is, do I have to know my major in order to, continue with the continue with the application process? And the answer is no. Even if that changes, it's totally fine. You can apply with one thing and eventually switch it to another. I can't tell you how many students wind up switching their major either before they enroll or after as well. And some students stick with it, and that's great too. So that's just one thing to note. Now, in terms of some of our most popular programs here, I would say that within the College of Arts and Sciences, off to the left-hand side of the screen, biology and psychology are very popular. Now, in terms of biology, we have a lot of students that go into to the pre-health route. So we do offer pre-health combined programs with some other colleges at the SUNY level and also in the Albany area as well. And just kind of going across to some of the other majors that we offer, our School of Business program is excellent. We do offer combined programs at the bachelor's and master's level again. So it can kind of give you the best of both worlds by getting both degrees at in a shortened amount of time and also at a less expensive rate too. One last program that I'll touch upon while we're on this screen is our Emergency Preparedness, Homeland Security, and Cybersecurity program. UAlbany was actually the first college in the country to have a program of this kind. And so we're now kind of seeing more programs of this nature pop up. However, we were the first program of this kind. And I'll talk a little bit more about some of the benefits of just being in the Albany area in the next couple slides. But this is a great program and a great place to be if you're interested in either emergency preparedness, homeland security, and cybersecurity. Now, one of the benefits and one of the things that sets us apart as a university is our location. So we are, of course, located in the New York State's capital. And many of our students, if not a large percentage of our students, will do some kind of internship within their first or second year here at UAlbany. And that can be as early as your first semester. Just as a quick example, I actually worked with a student a few years ago who set up her own internship at New York State Senator Gillibrand's office, located right down the road from our campus. She was a first semester freshman going downtown every few days and also still balancing a course load as well. So that just goes to show you that having an internship is really right at your fingertips. And one of the nice things about being in the capital and being in such a great area is that there are so many different offerings and there's plenty to go around essentially. So our students aren't necessarily competing against one another at a higher rate than they would maybe in a smaller town. So that's just something to consider. Again, when you're going to college, you certainly have a lot of options ahead of you, but having the ability to have an internship, research, or community experience is something that's really key when it comes time to finding a career and settling down. Now, in terms of the admissions process here at the university, we are also on the Common Application or the SUNY application. So it depends on which best works for you. In the admissions office, we don't have a preference. So essentially, whichever one works better for you works for us. Now, when it comes to the accepted freshman profile, typically 50% of our students that are accepted fall between an 89 and a 95 range. And I do want to emphasize that this is mid 50th percent. So students that we accept, 25% of them fall below this range and 25% of students are above this range as well. We do something called the adjusted GPA here at UAlbany. So we recalculate your GPA, and specifically for Brooklyn Tech, because we know that your school is quite challenging. We do actually raise your GPA to a certain extent as well. So just something to take into consideration when you're going through the admissions process. And again, happy to answer any questions on that as well. Now, we do have some opportunities for you to visit campus. So I certainly encourage you to visit campus if you can. Certainly the summertime is really popular once you're out of school. You can visit us in person, or you can also take a virtual tour with us. And we do host regional interviews, so feel free to sign up for our emails. We're oftentimes in New York City conducting interviews with our prospective students. And if you do have any questions, certainly reach out via email or phone. We're excited to have you here. And again, I'll be in the chat answering any questions.
Thank you so much. Up next, we have SUNY Oswego.
Thank you, folks. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sounds good.
Awesome. Good evening, everyone. My name is Emmanuel Cruz. Everyone calls me Manny. My preferred pronouns are he, him, or his. I'm actually a counselor here in the Office of Admissions. I remotely work for SUNY Oswego here in Brooklyn, New York, actually a mile down from Brooklyn Tech's main campus. So a little bit about SUNY Oswego. We are part of the state university system. We are technically the 6th largest four-year campus in the SUNY system, located 5 hours north of New York City. So far enough that you get away from your family, but close enough that you make that journey right back down to New York City. Our campus is right on the shores of Lake Ontario. So beautiful lake views throughout the entire campus while you're a student on our campus. One unique feature of our campus community, of course, is that we are considered the most residential state university campus in the SUNY system. So over 90% of all our students live on our college campus. So if you're looking for that traditional college experience, living in residence, having dining halls, seeing students across campus, you'll find that on our campus. We've undergone a major renaissance on our campus with over $1.1 billion invested in brand new academic or residential spaces across our campus. Uniqueness of our campus as well, of course, is the opportunity to have that engaging academic experience. We have a lot going on in terms of majors and programs, which we'll talk about in a few seconds here. When we're thinking about our campus, one of the unique features, of course, is our location. So like I mentioned, 5 hours north, a lot of transportation options to bring students back and forth. We have regional airport right in Syracuse, so you could fly out of JFK, Newark, or LaGuardia with direct flights every single day. We have the Oswego Laker Express that brings students directly from our campus right into the 5-borough area. So if you want an option to get home, you'll have that as an option. We also have the Regional Transportation Center to bring students right from Syracuse right into the 5 boroughs. We're a medium-sized school, so we technically have 8,000 students on our campus, 6,800 undergraduate students. Despite being a larger campus, you still have that intimate, small academic experience with the average classroom size being 24, 17 to 1 student to teacher ratio. In terms of majors, there's over 130 majors, 250 minors and concentrations. We have 4 colleges at Oswego: the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, a School of Business, a School of Communication, Media and the Arts, and a School of Education. It's okay to not know what you want to do. In fact, 15% of all incoming first-year students are undeclared, undecided. When we're looking at the College of Liberal Arts and Science, the top majors for Brooklyn Tech students tend to be our zoology program. We're the only school to actually have a zoology program in this state. We also see a lot of students come to Oswego from Brooklyn Tech for computer, electrical, and software engineering, and our psychology program. Our School of Business is ACSB accredited, highest and hardest accreditation you can receive. Top programs for our students coming from Brooklyn Tech tends to be our accounting program, our finance program, and our business administration program. And the School of Communication, Media and the Arts, nationally well known as one of the best colleges for broadcasting, mass communication, and journalism studies. And that also tends to be a very popular program for our Brooklyn Tech applicants, and of course, as our interactive media track program at Oswego for students that want to go into video game design. And our founding school is a School of Education. We offer everything in the field of education except for physical education. And our most popular program for Brooklyn Tech students tend to be our TESOL program. So if you're interested in becoming a English learner type educator, that will be one of the unique programs that we offer in our School of Education. There's a lot of majors, and of course you could always explore those programs through our website. One thing about the uniqueness of the academic experience at Oswego is it's really an applied educational experience. So as soon as you come to our campus, you will start taking core classes in your program. We have an extensive internship program that is actually embedded into every degree. We're also a co-op school. So if you're interested in coming to Oswego for 3.5 years, you do have the option of working full-time as part of your college experience. This allows our students to actually land jobs in what they actually went for as undergraduate students. In fact, 98% of students that do co-ops at Oswego are automatically enrolled or find jobs in their profession as soon as they graduate from SUNY Oswego. And of course, extensive study abroad program, #1 in SUNY for the percentage of students who study abroad. As a residential community, like I previously mentioned, over 90% of our students live on our campus. So from the moment you set foot on our campus, there's a lot going on. There's over 200 clubs and organizations to take advantage of. We have 14 residential communities for students to take advantage of. They are gender inclusive, quiet residence halls, suites, townhouses. So there's something for everyone. We have 5 dining halls on our campus. It's an all-you-can-eat dining experience, ranked #1 in Central New York for best food and best dining hall experience for all our students. In terms of things to do on our campus, since over 96% of all our students stay on campus every weekend, you're going to find a lot of things like color runs, concerts, multicultural activities going across our campus. We actually have our own bowling alley on our campus, movie theater. We have also our own dance club that's open till 4 o'clock on weekends, so students are taking advantage of that. We also have 10 restaurants on campus. So if you want to take a date on something on campus, you'll find those opportunities to engage. We're an NCAA Division III school. We have every single sport you could imagine except for American football and no men's volleyball on our campus. We have a ton of intramural sports, a ton of club sports that you could also partake as a student on our campus. So going in terms of costs, we're a SUNY school. You're all New York State residents. Total cost is $23,722 a year. When you submit your application for admissions, you're automatically considered for scholarships. When it comes to the admissions process, Common App, SUNY App, both equal, like my colleagues mentioned. We're looking typically for a B+ average student. So the average tends to be around the 91. Average SAT score, 1260, 24 on the ACT. And we'll look at everyone holistically. So that's why we require your personal statement and at least 1 letter recommendation as part of the review process. I will put my contact information in the chat in case you guys want to follow up with any questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thank you to all of our institutions here today. I appreciate getting to know more about your schools. We have some time for some Q&A. So I'll ask all of our institutions here today to come back on camera, and we'll have time for a question here. Our question for the evening is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process? So you can share your nuggets of wisdom. We'll go ahead and get started with SUNY Maritime College.
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. What advice would you give someone going through the college search process?
Sure. I think the best advice I could give would be to make sure you explore all your options and really delve into every college's offerings. You know, it's easy to look at 1 or 2 aspects, but you really have to get a feel for every college that you're looking at and determine if it is the right fit for you. And sometimes on the surface level, you know, that's not enough. So I would really say to any colleges you're looking at, you know, whether you're a junior or a senior, make sure that you really explore everything that they offer and figure out if it's ultimately what you're looking for.
All right, next we have SUNY Cortland.
Hi, yes. So I would say my best piece is just make sure that whatever institution that you decide to go to, you definitely visit and you feel a sense of home, you feel a sense of peace because you're investing the next 4 years of your life at that particular place. So you just want to make sure you take that extra step. Many of our campuses host bus trips and different opportunities for you to check out the campus and for you to see it for yourself. So you definitely want to envision yourself there. So that's definitely something that I think will be super helpful.
Hi, everyone. Just to give a different answer because everyone has such great responses. I think that demonstrating your interest can be really important and asking which colleges, use demonstrated interest and how they use that, and just keeping in touch with the colleges that you're interested in and using our admissions offices as a resource. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask questions. You're not bothering us. That's what we're here for. So feel free to utilize the admissions offices in the colleges that you're interested in. And I always tell students, it's always great to let your top schools know that they're your top schools.
Yeah, I would echo Gabriella's thoughts there as well. Please reach out to us. A lot of us oversee different areas, and some of us work, directly, as we've said, with students in New York City. So we're kind of your one-on-one contact, and we remember people. So make sure, you get your name on our radar as well. The other thing I would just add is for students and their families alike. There's no wrong way to go about the college admissions process. I think there's always this misconception that you have to do it a very prescribed way. And I think that there's no necessarily wrong way to go about it. I'm a firm believer that at the end of the day, you kind of wind up where you're meant to be. And so, even if you don't, even if you make a decision and you wind up transferring, or, you find your dream school and, you stay there all 4 years, you wind up where you're meant to be, and you're going to be successful either way.
All right, Emmanuel?
Oh, sorry. I would also add a ditto everything. I think these are great tips. When I was going with this process with my cousins, and I'm a Dominican American person, so I have a lot of cousins. So going through this with them, I usually tell them, write down what exactly do you want to get out of your college experience, and jot down. I know majors is a big thing, but what are the social experiences? What opportunities exist at those colleges that will prepare you for your career and what you want beyond your time at the institution? And take that moment to explore and see what are the outcomes and success of the graduates that have completed those programs at each individual school that you're looking at.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. That's all fantastic advice. We really appreciate it. And thank you to our participants for joining us tonight. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. So we'd appreciate any feedback that you can provide. We encourage you to check back to the schedule and sign up for more sessions. You'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other session recordings at strivescan.com/BrooklynTech. Have a great evening and best of luck on your college search process.